sorted.
Okay. Okay. So we are starting a new chapter, chapter 19. Say like this.
Rav, I think you're mixing yourself up with Mishlei. Mishlei is chapter 19.
What is it?
Mishlei was chapter 19.
Chapter
Not
Mishlei
Not on chapter 19. No.
Yeah, thank you for reminding me. Okay,
Right.
ready.
Ready.
What page?
You ready?
Better a poor man who walks innocently than one with perverse lips who is a fool.
Rav, you're doing Mishlei. We've got to be doing Gemorah. Today's Thursday.
No, it's a Gemorah Shiur, right? It's a Gemorah Shiur.
Today is Thursday.
Thursday,
I have the Gemorah. No, you see that I'm too late.
Not too late. There's a lot going on. There's a lot going on.
No, excuse me a minute. On Tuesday, I actually thought that I'm going to start Gemorah. Then I realized that the Mishlei. So everything is confusing. I am okay. Let me get the Gemorah. I apologize. As I said, I had a long day today. Didn't manage to have a rest. So, okay.
To your left,
Gemorah,
to your right.
Sotah. Like the Sotah. Page 24. B1.
Are you sure of that? No.
Okay, so it referring to what the Mishnah says, argument between Rabbi Yoshia and Rabbi Yonatan.
20.
In 24 A, we had 24 B. There is a dispute or disagreement between Rabbi Yonatan and Rabbi Yoshia. The subject we are talking about, if a woman is alleged to have a relationship with another person, then this all tract is dealing that, as we say, she is warned by her husband, and if she still doesn't change her way, Eventually, he warns her, he takes her to the temple. Eventually she drinks the bitter water. If she still insists, then she is innocent. And then the water will prove. Now the Mishnah was talking about, the Gemorah starts, what happened? Two women, because the Mishnah has got a long list of women who are going through this process. So there is two women that the Mishnah and the Gemorah is dealing with now. One which is not married yet, only engaged. As I explained last week, engagement means what we do today under the chuppah. In old times, this ceremony was divided to two. A person would give a ring to his wife, to his bride, and he would say, "You are betrothed to me," but he's not going to live with her until there is a chuppah, and usually it was like a year or so between, so they were not living together, and but although they are not living together, she is already betrothed to him, which means she cannot have any relationship with another person.
Rav, can I ask just one question before we go on? In this situation, if he wants to get out of this marriage, does he have to issue a divorce?
Correct, he has to have a get.
So he's got to give a get.
So I said, this is why it's very difficult for us to understand, because today we haven't got the same process. Today, a person getting married under the chuppah is both status, let's say. Both things happen. The first part, under the chuppah, the person gives a ring to his bride. He said, "You will be mikudeshet to me. You will be mine, dedicated to me," which means that she now cannot have any affairs with anybody else. And if they need to separate, they have a divorce. But in old times, it wasn't like today that there is betrothal and chuppah, which makes marriage. So the first part used to be, as I said, he was given a ring, and they still live separated, but still she's considered to be his wife, and she's not allowed to have any relationship with anybody else. This is what's called here arusa. There is no, they don't live together, but nevertheless, then that there is like a marital bond between them. The second woman that we talk with mentioned here is a very similar in status. This is a woman which is called Shomeret Yavam. This is a woman that was married, and her husband died, childless. So she has, according to the Torah law, she needs to marry his brother, means her brother-in-law, until she, and the way what they married, by only having a sexual relationship, this is their marriage. So she's very similar until they had this sexual relationship. She's very similar to the Arusa, to the one who is only betrothed, because she's bound, she can't have anything to do with anybody else until either the brother-in-law marries her, or another takes her, or he releases her. A woman which is betrothed, Arusa, the way that he releases her is with a get, a divorce. The Yevama, which we call it, this woman is called a Yevama. The brother-in-law is called a Yavam, and she is like waiting to get, she waits to have, to complete the bond. And so there is no need the chuppah, just they have to live together, then this makes the marriage. Now, if the brother-in-law doesn't want to have her, he has to release her. How does he release her? There is a whole ceremony that she has to take off his shoe in the front of the Beis Din. This is a way how the bond between her and her brother-in-law will be cut off. As long as this is not done, she's also bond. There is a bond between them, and she's not allowed to have any relationship with anybody else. So there is a dispute here between Rabbi Yonatan and Rabbi Yoshia, if both of them are in the same status, that the Arusa, the engaged one, and the one that's waiting to have a Yibum, are they in the same, that the future husband can warn her not to have a relationship with anybody else, and will go through the process of drinking the water. So this is the gist of the subject here. And there is a whole discussion in 24 B1. Both of them are dealing with the text in the Torah. So I'm not sure whether we should actually go through this, because this is rather more to derive from the text their status. Therefore, with that, in progress. Okay.
It just went off. It's on again.
So, what did you say?
The internet, you're having problems. It
What
just
did I
went on.
miss?
No, the internet just went off for a minute, but it's back on again. The internet's on again. On
The
our
Gemorah-
computer.
Recording's
the
on
Gemorah-
again.
don't know if you want to get into this details, how the two rabbis, Rabbi Yeshua and Rabbi Yonatan, how they treat the text, because they agree on one, but they have a disagreement if it is how to derive it, and
Actually, Arav, you actually
the-
started it last week. You
Sorry?
started it last week when you said that
yeah,
the law from Numbers, that if while under husband goes astray, you started that last week. But
yeah.
if you
So
want to skip it, it's up to you.
you want to continue with the how they derive the text, or
Yeah,
should
I don't mind continue with the text because it needs more. It's even if it's involved, it's challenging.
Yeah, I
Okay.
agree. Rabbi, I agree.
okay? If you wish, then we will go to, because the Gemorah tried to learn from the text, each of them, how do they derived? Because one says the
Rabbi, go to center, go to your
the
right.
place, what?
Please go to your right. Go.
One says
There was
one says he learns from the text that only the it says in the posuk, in the verse tachat ishech, that if she is disloyal to her husband, comes to exclude arusa, which is only engaged. But he thinks that the one that has to have the ibum is included, that considered like his wife, that he can warn her. And the other one says no, he agrees that the one that engaged the husband can warn her, but not the Yavam about his sister-in-law. And the difference is because those that engage, they don't have a chuppah yet. So from the text, it shows it's not completely considered to be marriage, unlike the case with the Yavam, the Ibum, the sister-in-law. There is no need of a chuppah, the only thing that they have to live together. So this is, I say, the essence of the discussion here. How to learn each opinion, to learn from the text, and each of them shows the words that shows to him, to his point of view, and so it comes quite a complicated thing. I don't mind if that's what you want, because I don't think that is really interests you. How do each of them interpret the text which he derives to their opinion? But basically, we are talking, as I said, they both agree that Yevama drinks, but they disagree of the one that only engaged. So if this is not sufficient, we can go through the whole thing, but I don't know, this can be quite, you understand to say, Ruben? That
Now,
it's
look, it's up to the others as well. I don't mind trying to go through the whole thing and see how they each try, but the other people must also say what they feel.
I don't know, what do you say? You want to go through the inner thing, each one interprets the text?
I don't mind.
I don't mind. I don't mind.
Or you don't mind or you don't
No,
want?
no, we can go ahead.
Okay.
I don't
you
mind.
said it. So then we start like this. Each of them gives a basic to his opinion. It starts in the after the Mishnah, because he says Tachat Ishech, talking about the situation that she was disloyal under husband. Now the question was his husband. Is it considered the one what she's engaged, or talking about Shomeret Yavam, the one that waiting for Ribim? So, and each of them said to explain their opinion and as to answer why he does not accept the other opinion, because he learns from the same text something different. This is really what we had in the first page in 24a4. We turn to 24b1 at the top. The Gemorah asks how Rabbi Yoshea deals with the verse used by Rabbi Yonatan to exclude the Arusa. Rabbi Yoshea, because the Rabbi Yonatan, he excludes the Arusa because he says that the Torah says Tachat Ishech means that it seems to be that she's already married, and therefore it means it's excluded the Arusa. The other one said no, it is included. So the Gemorah asks Rabbi Yoshea in the third line on the second page, Rabbi Yoshea, what does he do with this phrase under her husband if he says that it includes Arusa, the one that engages well? So the Gemorah answers, he needed for the teaching of the following Braita, Lakish Ish, Leisha Visha Leish. The verse comes which says, when a woman strays from under her husband, serves to compare a man to a woman and a woman to a man, which in which regard the Gemorah later explain what do we need this for. Martina should be here.
Rob, we've only got 10 minutes left.
Okay, listen. Now if you go in the second page in 24b2 in the note 13, he said that the Torah does not state explicitly that the deficient cohabitation without intent to make the Ivamah his wife affects Ibu. Rather, this is derived from the Torah use of the words Yevama yavo alea yavam. This is the brother-in-law shall cohabit with her and take her to himself as a wife. As opposed to the shorter clause, יבמה ייקחנה לו לאישה. Instead, in the text we should have יבם של take her to himself as a wife. See the efficiency of the deficient cohabitation not stated clearly. Shmuel reasons that it must be limited to the laws recorded in the passage. There are two such laws. The Avam inherits the property of his deceased brother and does not have a share it without other brothers. B, if he divorces her, he does so with a get and chalitza. Chalitza is the one that we are talking about, taking off the shoes. So means that in order to cut off to divorce, you have to do two things. Regarding other laws, permission to eat truma, deficient cohabitation does not render the one's wife. However, this already coming to details of something further than that. Now we turn back to 24b1 when the Gemorah says Rabbi Yoshaya and Rabbi Yonatan requires a verse under your husband or under her husband to exclude the Narusa from the procedure of drinking the water. The Gemorah asks why these verses are necessary. Now, the reason a Narusa does not drink the water is that these verses are written. But otherwise, has it not been written, otherwise, I would have said that any Arusa does drink. But how can this be? There is, when Rabacha Bar Chanina came from the south, he came bringing the following Braita with him. The verse says, and a man other than your husband has lain with you, indicated the Sotah waters will be effective and are thus administered only if when she, the one who was the husband's cohabitation with her, preceded the adulterous cohabitation with her, not when the adulterous cohabitation with her preceded the husband's cohabitation with her. So, hence, how could it have been thought that an Arusa who has not cohabited with her husband drinks the bitter water? So this is to explain the reason why he says that Arusa does not drink and only it refers to the Ivama, the brother-in-law. But Rami Bar Chama said, no, it's not necessary to say, because from the verse sees that the Arus, he had to cohabitate first before she commits adultery, can be another situation. In Mashkachatla, you can find it, the need to a verse to exclude an Arusa, כגון שבא לארוס בבית אביה, where the Arus cohabited with her against the law, while she was still living in her father's home. She shouldn't have done it, but it can happen that she did it. And therefore, you can't prove from the verse that the husband, that the husband only cohabited with her after she commits adultery, because it can be that she, before even they live together, she had a relationship, or she's still being in her father's house, and she already had a relationship with somebody else. The Gemorah challenges. Therefore, I said, I don't know to what degree you want to go to the ins and outs, how each of them is doing with the text. So you understand what we did up to now?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
we got 1 minute left, Rav.
Well, so then I don't think there is much that we can manage to continue with it. So if you have
Continue next week.
the English text, you can see 24b1, the second column in the middle. This is where we stopped, and please God, we will meet again to continue with this discussion. So the discussion is, who drinks the water? The Arusa, the engaged, and the Shomeret Yavam. Each of them says only Shomeret Yavam. Arusa, there is a machloket, okay? And each one says based on the text. Okay.
Thank you very
Good.
much.
Thank you, Rav.
Shabbat
Okay,
shalom.
and-
Shabbat shalom.
Shabbat shalom.
Shabbat
Stay
shalom.
safe.
Shalom.
Be safe.
All the best, Kurtstag. Sotah.